My teenage son sat on the couch, stared at his phone, and said, "Since you work, you should just give me an allowance for doing nothing." When I refused, he scoffed, "Then I'll just complain to Grandma until she forces you to." I smirked, dialed a number, and said, "Great. Let's call her right now and see how she feels about you skipping school too." I'm a single mom. Not by choice, not by tragedy, but by stupidity. My ex walked out on us when my son was 8. He thought being a dad was optional. So, it's been just me and my boy, Liam, for the last 7 years. We live in a decent neighborhood just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. I work 2 jobs, admin assistant during the day, grocery store cashier some evenings. I don't live fancy, but I keep the lights on, food in the fridge, and Liam in decent clothes. That's more than I had growing up. Lately, though, Liam has been acting different. Not just typical teen mood swings or backtalk, he's gotten lazy. Entitled. Like he expects life to just hand him things. He stopped doing chores. He skipped homework. Then he started skipping school. At first, it was a day here and there, then it turned into a pattern. He'd wait until I was gone and stay home. I found out when his school called about unexcused absences. I grounded him, took his Xbox, cut the Wi-Fi access from his devices. All of it. But it didn't work. He acted like nothing mattered. And he had the nerve to say it was my fault for stressing him out. So one Thursday afternoon, I come home from work, tired, hungry, and carrying 2 bags of groceries. I walk in, and there he is on the couch, scrolling his phone like a king on his throne. Doesn't even look up. I said, "Did you do the dishes like I asked?" He goes, "Why should I? You're the one who works. You should just give me money for doing nothing. That's how it works now." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was insane. I said, "You want money for nothing?" He looked me straight in the eye and said, "Yeah. And if you don't, I'll just complain to Grandma. She always takes my side. She'll force you." That was the moment I stopped being tired. I stopped being frustrated. I felt something snap into place inside me. "Oh," I said. I pulled out my phone and started dialing. "Let's call her right now. Let's see how she feels about you skipping school." He froze. The color drained from his face like I just pulled the pin on a grenade. "Wait. No. Mom, too late." It was ringing. And she picked up. Loudspeaker on. "Hey, Mom," I said sweetly. "Liam wants to talk to you. He says you'll force me to give him money for doing nothing." Silence. Then she says, "Is that so?" I look at Liam. He's sweating. Suddenly trying to grab the phone from my hand. I hold it out of reach. "Oh, and by the way," I added, "he's been skipping school. A lot. Principal called me again this morning." My mother-in-law is old school. Worked 2 jobs herself, raised 3 boys, didn't take crap from any of them. She loves Liam, but not enough to let him act like a brat. "What do you have to say for yourself, young man?" she barked through the phone. He stammered. Then muttered, "I was gonna go tomorrow." She went off. Loud enough that our neighbors probably heard. She tore into him for being lazy, disrespectful, and ungrateful. Told him he wasn't welcome at her house until he pulled his act together. Said she was ashamed to even hear it. Liam ran to his room, slammed the door. Didn't come out for hours. I thought that might be the end of it. Lesson learned, right? Wrong. Next day, I get a call from school. Liam's not there. Again. This time, I didn't call him. I left work early. Drove straight home. And there he was. Not even hiding. Just playing on his laptop like nothing happened. I didn't yell. I didn't say a word. I took the laptop, the phone, his headphones, and dumped them in my trunk. Changed the Wi-Fi password. Blocked his access completely. Then I drove him to school. Walked him in myself. Principal was waiting. Said this was his 5th unexcused absence. They were ready to take it to the district. Possible suspension. Maybe even truancy court. Liam tried to play the victim card. My mom's always working. I get depressed being alone. The principal looked at me. I looked right back and said, "He's not depressed. He's lazy." Principal gave me a long look, then nodded. We came home in silence. That night, I sat him down. No yelling, just plain facts. You want an allowance? Earn it. Chores, grades, effort. I'm not rewarding laziness. He didn't say anything, so I took it further. I called the school counselor, signed him up for after-school tutoring, arranged for him to volunteer at the local food bank 3 times a week, told him if he didn't show up, I'd have the cops escort him to community service. That's legal, by the way, when truancy's involved. He said I was ruining his life. I said, good. Maybe you'll build a better one. He thought Grandma would bail him out. But now she was on my side. She called every day, made sure he did his work. Said if he didn't shape up, she'd sign him up for a military summer camp. They'll teach him discipline, she said. He cried the first week. Said I didn't love him. Said I was cruel. But I didn't give in. It's been 3 weeks now. He's going to school. Grades are going up. He empties the dishwasher without being asked. He doesn't say much, but that's okay. I'm not looking for thanks. I'm not looking for a hug. I'm raising a man. And I'm not done yet. 3 weeks of order, and I thought things were starting to change. Liam still wasn't the perfect kid, but he was showing up to school, doing his chores, even offering to carry groceries once. I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, he'd turned a corner. Then one afternoon, I got home early. I didn't tell him. Just needed to grab a document I forgot. When I walked in, the house was quiet, too quiet. I checked his room. Empty. Backpack was there. Shoes were there. But no Liam. At first, I thought maybe he went for a walk. Then I noticed the side window in the laundry room, cracked open. It was too narrow for me, but for him, easy. I called his phone. Straight to voicemail. Something in my chest tightened. I grabbed my keys and drove. Didn't even know where I was going, but my gut did. 10 minutes later, I pulled into a strip mall a few blocks from school. There's this dingy internet cafe there. Kids go to play games, avoid parents, skip school. And there he was. Sitting in the back, hoodie up, laughing with 2 other boys. Earbuds in, playing on some ancient PC. Like he had no care in the world. I didn't storm in. I stood there. Watched for a full minute. Then I walked up behind him, tapped his shoulder. He turned, expecting a friend, probably. The moment his eyes met mine, his face dropped. I didn't have to say a word. He stood up like someone had yanked a string in his spine. The other 2 boys laughed. One said, "Damn, your mom's a ninja." I didn't care. I walked out. He followed. No words. When we got home, he tried to explain. Said school was too much, the tutoring made him tired, and he needed a break. I listened. Then I showed him a printed letter from the school. It had arrived in the mail that morning. Warning of further consequences. One more unexcused absence, and they'd file a truancy report. You're 15, I said. Do you want a juvenile record? He shrugged. Maybe. That was it. That was the final crack. I called Grandma again. This time, I didn't ask for support, I asked for help. 2 days later, she showed up. Not with cookies or a warm hug, but with a duffel bag and a printed itinerary. You're coming with me, she said to Liam. What? He looked panicked. Where? To Yuma, she said. My friend Carol runs a horse ranch. You'll be staying with her. You'll clean stalls, fix fences, and earn every bite you eat. He laughed. Thought it was a joke. Then she said, I already called the school. You're enrolled online. You can do the work from there. But skip one assignment, and I'm taking your phone and shaving your head. I've never seen Liam cry like that. I didn't cry. I let her take him. It wasn't even an hour after they left when my sister called. She said Liam had posted something on social media, a screenshot of my text messages, cropped to make me look like I was abusing him. Said I was destroying his mental health, starving him, emotionally manipulative. It was already getting shared. His friends were commenting. Some adults, too. One lady even said she was going to report me. I sat down on the floor, right there in the hallway, and stared at my phone. Heart pounding. My sister said, you need to get ahead of this. I didn't want to go online. I didn't want to argue with strangers. but I knew I had to, so I posted my own version. I didn't attack him, didn't call him names. I just told the truth. Included the truancy warnings, the school's letter, even a photo of the internet cafe time-stamped from the day he skipped class. I told the full story, how I worked 2 jobs, how I fought to keep him safe, and how I refused to raise a boy who'd turn into a man who felt the world owed him something. The post blew up. Way more than I expected. Thousands of shares. Comments from other parents, teachers, even former students who said, "That kid needs tough love." But not everyone was on my side. Some called me a monster. Said I was cruel, unfit, controlling. Someone even posted my address in the comments. That night, I kept the lights off and didn't sleep. I sat on the couch with a bat in my hand, just in case. No one came, but the fear stayed. 2 days later, the school called me. Not about Liam this time. About Child Protective Services. Someone filed an anonymous report. They came to the house. Asked questions. Wanted to see Liam's room, his clothes, his food. I stayed calm. Answered everything. Showed them the letter from the school, the social media screenshots, even Grandma's number. When they left, the caseworker said, "This isn't about abuse. This is about parenting. And I wish more parents did it like you." I should have felt relief. Instead, I felt sick. Because even though I was in the right, I was still scared. Meanwhile, over in Yuma, Liam wasn't posting anymore. But Carol sent me pictures. One with him holding a shovel and looking like he just climbed out of a mud pit. Another with him asleep in the barn, hat over his face, a goat standing on his chest. He wasn't smiling. But he was working. That was something. 3 weeks passed. He didn't ask to come home. He didn't call. Grandma said he was quiet, tired, and sore. Said Carol caught him crying one night in the barn. She didn't tell him she saw. Then, one morning, a letter came in the mail. From Liam. It wasn't long. Just a folded notebook page, written in pencil. "Mom, I'm sorry I embarrassed you. I didn't think anyone cared what I did. I thought if I made you look bad, I'd feel better. I was wrong. Carol's tough. Grandma's tougher. But I think I needed it. I miss my bed. I miss you. I'll try harder. I promise." No ending yet. I'm still waiting. Still watching. But now I've got his words on paper. And I'm not giving up on him. Not yet. The letter changed things, but not in the way I expected. I didn't write back. I wanted to, but I needed him to understand something. Apologies are words. Change is action. I needed more than a sorry scribbled on a page. So I waited. A week passed. Then another. Then one night, Grandma called. "He's missing." I was brushing my teeth when she said it. I almost dropped the phone. "What do you mean missing?" "He didn't show up for chores this morning." Carol thought he was still sleeping. But when she went to his room, his bed was empty. His backpack and a pair of boots are gone. My mind was already spinning. Yuma's not LA, but it's still a city. Hot, dusty, sprawling. Not a place you wander around alone at 16. I drove straight there. 3.5 hours, no music, just the sound of my thoughts. When I got to the ranch, Carol met me at the gate. She was calm, but her jaw was tight. "I've already called the sheriff. They're out looking." I asked if she checked his phone. She said they took it days ago when he was caught trying to sneak it back online. He'd been grounded again. She figured maybe he ran off out of frustration. We searched until dark. Dirt roads, gas stations, truck stops. No sign of him. That night, I didn't sleep. At sunrise, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Just a text. "I'm safe. Don't come looking." I nearly collapsed. I texted back. "Where are you? Please. Just tell me you're safe." No answer. Hours later, a call came. Local diner off a back road. One of the waitresses recognized him. Said he was sitting in a booth, nursing a soda, looking like he hadn't slept in days. By the time we got there, he was gone. Left a crumpled napkin on the table with a single line written in pen, "I can't be who you want." I stared at it until the ink blurred. That night, I sat outside Carol's barn, staring up at the stars, and I asked myself what the hell I was doing. Maybe I'd pushed too hard. Maybe the work, the tough love, the structure, maybe it was too much. Maybe I broke something in him. Then my phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. But this time, it was a voicemail. His voice shaky, sounding younger than he had in years. Mom, I'm in Tucson. I don't know why I came here. I just needed space. I'm not doing anything bad. I'm staying near the bus depot. I just needed to figure stuff out. I'm sorry I scared you. I just felt like I wasn't good enough anymore. I called back. Straight to voicemail. I drove to Tucson. It took 2 days to find him. He wasn't at the depot. But a janitor there remembered a skinny kid with a busted backpack. Said he was sleeping on a bench the first night, then disappeared. I found him behind a rundown community center on the south side, curled up near a broken vending machine, using his hoodie as a blanket. He looked up when I said his name. Didn't run. Didn't cry. Just sat up and said, I thought you wouldn't come. I told him, I'll always come. He came back with me. Not to Phoenix. Not to the ranch. To a counselor. One I picked. One who specialized in teen behavior, defiance, depression, and family trauma. The first session, he didn't speak. Just sat, arms crossed, eyes on the floor. Second session, he said, I don't know what I'm doing here. Third session, he said, she's not a bad mom. She's just tired. And the fourth session, he broke down. Said he'd been skipping school because he felt dumb. Said the other kids were faster, better, and the minute he fell behind, he figured it was easier to quit than to be embarrassed. Said the allowance thing wasn't about money, it was about control. The only thing he felt like he had left. I sat there, holding his hand, while he finally told the truth. And I realized, all this time, I thought I was fighting against him. But really, I should have been fighting with him. For him. No ending yet. He's home now. We go to counseling once a week. He's back at school, part-time, online classes mostly. Still does chores. Still grumbles. Still forgets to take out the trash. But when I ask him where he's going, he answers. When I call, he picks up. When he says, I love you, he means it. There's a long road ahead. But we're walking it. Together. And I'm watching him. Closely. Because the next twist might not come from him. Things got quiet for a while. Too quiet. Liam was doing better, but there was a tension that never left the air in our house. Like walking on broken glass. We didn't argue, but we didn't laugh either. Just went through the motions. School, counseling, meals, bed. Repeat. I figured we needed time. That maybe this was the price of rebuilding trust. Then came the message that set it all off again. It was a Wednesday night. Liam had just gone to bed. I was checking emails before shutting down, and I saw one from a name I hadn't thought about in years. Alex. My ex. His father. The subject line, you need to chill. Let him be a kid. My whole body went still. I opened it. It was a short email. 3 lines. Liam messaged me. Said you were controlling, sending him away, messing with his head. You need to back off. I'm thinking about calling the court. I might file for custody. He deserves better than you. I stared at the screen. The blood in my face burned. Alex hadn't seen Liam in 6 years. No birthday calls. No Christmas gifts. No money. Not even a card. He vanished when things got hard. Left me with a mortgage, a scared child, and a broken name. And now he wanted to parent? I didn't reply. I didn't cry. I drove. Straight to my sister's house. She's a lawyer. I showed her the email. Her eyes narrowed. You still have the custody papers, right? I do. Good, she said. Then we fight. Alex had no leg to stand on. He owed years of back child support. He'd never visited. But he started stirring things online. Reached out to people from our old life. Told them I was unstable. Controlling. Said I sent Liam away to punish him. Some believed it. Some didn't. The worst part? Liam found out. He got angry. Said I went behind his back. said I turned everyone against his dad. And for a minute, I started to think maybe I was the problem. Until I checked his phone. Not to spy. Not to snoop. I was adding minutes to his prepaid plan. But I saw a message pop up from Alex. And it read, "You're doing great, kid. Just keep telling her she's crazy. Courts will believe you. I'll get you out soon." I took a screenshot. 3 of them. Then I called Alex. I told him I knew. I told him I had the texts, the emails, the court orders, and a lawyer ready to bury him in paperwork. He laughed. Said, "You're not scaring anyone, sweetheart." So I made one more call. Grandma. The next day, Liam came home from school, and she was sitting at the kitchen table. She had a binder in front of her. Inside it, a copy of the child support agreement, old photos of Alex with bruises on me, and a typed timeline of every missed payment, every no-show visit, every phone call I cried through alone in the bathroom. She looked Liam in the eyes and said, "You want to know why your dad left?" And then she told him everything. Everything I had protected him from. The screaming, the threats, the time Alex punched a hole in the wall inches from my head. The night he drove drunk with Liam in the car, and I had to call the cops just to get him home. Liam cried. I didn't. Not this time. 3 days later, he blocked Alex. Deleted the messages. Handed me his phone and said, "You were just trying to keep me safe." And I finally breathed again. But I wasn't done. I sent the screenshots to my sister. She filed an emergency motion to terminate all parental rights on Alex's part, and we requested full financial back pay on child support. She added harassment charges for the court to look into. 2 months later, we stood in front of a judge. Alex showed up, smug. Like he had already won. The judge read the messages. Read the timeline. Read the history of silence and neglect. Then looked at Alex and said, "Sir, you're lucky you're not leaving here in handcuffs." Alex tried to speak. Judge cut him off. "You haven't been a father. You've been a ghost. And now you think you can come back with a few lies and manipulate your son against the only parent he's had?" Alex's lawyer tried to object. The judge banged the gavel. Parental rights terminated. All back pay on support will be enforced, effective immediately. And I recommend you stay out of their lives for your sake. Alex turned to look at me as they escorted him out. His eyes full of rage. But mine? Calm. He was done. I drove Liam home. He didn't speak for most of the ride. Then, halfway through, he said, "I wanted to believe he was different." "I know," I said. "I didn't know he hated you that much." "He didn't hate me," I said. "He hated being responsible." We pulled into the driveway. The sun was setting. The light hit our porch in the soft, golden way. And Liam looked at me. Really looked at me. Then said, "I'm sorry I made it worse." I didn't say anything. Just pulled him in and hugged him so tight I felt his ribs. That night, we ate dinner like nothing had happened. But everything had. The liar was out. The truth was known. And our house? Finally quiet. Not from fear. From peace. Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just finished.